in action. So now we're gonna make a bowl. So here at school, I have got these plaster molds, which are really great because like in my last little video there with the plate, I wouldn't have to put something between it like this because plaster is designed for clay not to stick to it. Sure, it's gonna stick kind of like right now, but it will, peel right off. It won't stick to it like long term. Like if I did that on here, like I have to like peel it off, you know what I mean? Like, so plaster is porous, so it has this real nice effect. Now, if you're with me at school, you're welcome to use, would you hear that air bubble? You're welcome to use these. They're really nice to use. I have these banding wheels. We put them on here and you can work on your stuff. I will show that to the people that are here. But this is kind of like for, I'm at home, what am I gonna do? Search your cabinets, find something like this. It's a good size. Can you go big? Sure. Just careful about how much clay you have. I've got all kinds of stuff that I have used. I mean, this could be a really cool pattern to pop off of. People use that here. We use stuff like this, a larger one. Now, this has a foot on the bottom, so as I put a clay around it, it's gonna have that bump. This has more of a line. It's hard. It's gonna cut through the clay, so it will cause a problem on the bottom inside. So if you use a bowl like this or like this, that's why I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna show you right now. We're gonna bulk up the foot a little bit. So, same thing as before. Quickly make myself a slab. Get this out of there. I always do this in the beginning to compress the clay. I mean, imagine clay is, porous, so there's air bubbles in here and all these molecules are pointing one direction. So as I sort of like compress it down like this, it helps tighten it up, and that's how you get rid of weird shrinkage or warping, is by compressing the clay. So I'm doing my classic throw out thing, and it's just like making a pizza, except we don't throw it in the air like this. Woo! Oh! Because it won't stretch like that, so you have to have something to throw it against, right? So that's the only way it works. So, boom. I feel pretty close-ish on this. I know I'm gonna cut off some of this excess like before, because I don't need all that. I might even get rid of the corners because it's gonna be a round thing. And I'll do this real fast just to reiterate what we did on the last one, just to make sure I've got some level, that it's level, and get rid of any high spots. So one thing a lot of people don't do is pre-texture their clay. I think I showed this in a lot of my other videos, but you could totally come in here right now and pre-texture your clay with a variety of objects. It could be that. I know I've shown you this stuff on the videos, but just getting some activity going here in the beginning, that'll be on the inside of your bowl, because I'm putting this face down. So, we could go on and get some cool details like that. It might have been a little aggressive, but we're going for it. Woo! All right, so resist the urge to just put that right on here, right? You have to put something down like this. Now, if you did have like a bowl that you really want to use and it had like an aggressive edge, you could put something down here first, you know what I mean, to kind of soften it, but I'm not gonna do that on this one. You have to put something between the two or you'll have problems. Now I can put this on the outside or inside. I'm gonna go for the inside because I know I'm gonna need to smooth it out anyway. Whoop, it got funky. Do you see that? I'm going for it. So right now, this is what always happens, especially on some bigger bowls. It wants to fold right here. So you get rid of that big thing for me. I feel like I'm gonna knock it off. There we go. So I got my water here. I would use plenty of water in this. So I'm talking about, like, I put it down, but it always wants to fold somewhere. It wants to fold right here. So be careful in these beginning moments, just to make sure that you're getting this out. I would, if it's really weird, I know I'm not gonna use, like most of this, I would cut off a lot of this. So that little fold right there, if I go slow, now if you have something like this is an amazing tool. This is called a banding wheel. It spins, it's like a DIY pottery tool. If you have something like this, awesome. If you don't, like this is really great, as you can tell, because I can spin it and work on it as I'm doing. I can hold my hand here. So if you're at school, you can be using something like this to really round it out and do like this kind of stuff. But you probably don't have one of these at home. So you're gonna have to go old school like I'm gonna do right here, right now, which is taking my time and just pressing it down and spinning it and pressing it down. Spinning it. Now I'm gonna take this, and I know I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna get rid of most of this here. This is my rough cut. This is more challenging than working on the plaster. If you are at school, I recommend using the plaster, but we can get this to sit flat. Now it's like, I wanna cut this level here, right? To make a nice level. And I can hand do it and kind of take my time. Or you could get something, I'm sure you could stack up books or a magazine, or maybe get some wood like this. I'm actually gonna take this, I'm gonna tuck it all under. It's driving me crazy. Ooh. This is when you might need a friend. I'm gonna spin it over so you can see. Twist it. So that's all there. If I was smart, I probably should have prepared that much better in the beginning and like taped it up underneath so it was nice and tight, and then it wouldn't have all these annoying issues. But I could take something like this. Is that gonna do it? Maybe. I could hold this needle tool, right? Have it stick out like this. I'm gonna carefully go around it. It's a little shallow there, but I'm gonna make it. I don't know if you can see that, Mrs. Mess, our professional camera person. But
so professional.
It's so what?
So professional.
So professional. And so this is gonna get a nice level, you see what I'm saying here? That'll get a nice level ledge. Lip is the word I'm looking for. And then I would get my fingers wet, I'd smooth all that out. It's a little jiggly and wobbly, or more challenging than, you know, working on that plate earlier. Clean up all my edges. Now, here's the money move. It's like, yeah, I could just wait right now, hit that with a hairdryer. That could be a nice bowl, have a flat bottom, be kind of plain Jane boring. But I really want anybody at home to make some footers, some feet on the bottom of this. It's wise for a few reasons. So if you just roll out a coil, or you could roll out a slab that you know is relatively level, and you could cut some, and you can put something down that makes it more level. We're gonna create like a bottom, right? So it could be as simple as that. Could be, and it might take you a couple times to get it just right. So I'm making like this circle. You know, you could take something like, I don't know what you have, but it could be like this. And you can kind of eyeball it and be like, okay, that's pretty good in the middle. Maybe just give it a little bit of a press and then release it. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but it made a mark, perfect circle, right? So I could take that, kind of lay that guide, use that as my guide, and then I would pinch it. I would have scored and slipped. I'm being lazy. You can imagine though. I could probably get away with this because it's not. But you imagine, I could work this, I could smooth it, I could spin it. I could be like, oh, I don't really like that. You could use this and put some cool like details on the bottom like this, and it creates a foot or a bottom. We call it a footer, so that when you flip it over, right, it has this nice, you know, ledge on the bottom. And eventually, when you're later on, when it's ready, it's not ready, but we're gonna do it for the camera. We get rid of that. You know, it's jiggly and wobbly, but even at this stage, when it's wet like this, you could pull that out, and I could, you know, clearly, I've got some issues and so forth. But can you see my design on the inside? You guys see that? Got a nice little design on the inside. Boom, I've got a foot. I could put this down even at this wetness. You know, I can work it. Like, resist the urge to overtouch it. You can see just because it's wet, it already wants to push down like this. And like, boom, maybe that would be cool actually. Sometimes things like this happen, and all of a sudden you got this shallow, wider bowl with kind of a divot on the inside. So that's the stuff we're playing with. You know, there's two ways to make, or there's a way to make a bowl and a plate. Back with you in a few. Boom!